What is up, my mates of YouTube? My name is Aussie Marcel, and in today's video we're going to be looking at a fragrance that I've been looking for and trying to cover on the channel for years now, and that is Mont Blanc's Individuel. So if that sounds good to you, let's get into the video. I was in Chemist Warehouse the other day trying to find some vitamins and supplements in general just for myself, and I actually wasn't going to buy any fragrances, but I saw 2 bottles of Mont Blanc's Individuel for $50 each, so I bought everything they had because I've never seen it in Australia before, and this has been on my radar since I saw a Jeremy fragrance video like I want to say 4 years ago, and he was saying how sexy the fragrance is and all of that. And so with that in mind, I've been wearing this fragrance every single day for the last 2 or 3 days now, and I want to talk about the presentation first. It's not too bad, quite nice. Basic, clean, minimalistic, kind of classy, and then you've got the Mont Blanc emblem up the top there. So the fragrance itself at $50 I think is good value. Is this overhyped though? That's what I'm trying to get my head around here, because I've sort of been hyping this up for myself for years now, and the performance definitely hasn't met my expectations. I thought the performance would be incredible, and I was kind of hoping this would be just like a fresher interpretation of Yo Pomme here, and that is probably the fragrance most people would compare it to. It's just like a much more realistic, safer version of Yo Pomme, but I don't think this comparison is entirely accurate. There are a lot of similarities. It's got this almost cherry raspberry sweetness to it, but I actually think it's quite a bit soapier and fresher than Yo Pomme. The fragrance that it reminds me of most, in all honesty, is Prada Amber Pour Homme, and I don't think I've seen anybody mention that comparison before. The two fragrances are very close together in terms of how they smell. Prada Amber Pour Homme probably performs a little better, and it's a touch spicier, a touch warmer. But it is a similar fragrance. Like, put these side by side, you probably don't think that they're comparable, but put them side by side and then smell them together. They are very similar. I would say that Mont Blanc's Individuel is just a little fruitier, a little sweeter, and in that regard it does lean a little closer to Yo Pomme, but it definitely doesn't have this, you know, this kind of sickly sweet cinnamon, cherry, medicinal bomb quality of Yo Pomme. This is not a fragrance that everybody loves. This is a very divisive fragrance. This is one of those fragrances that, you know, your dad may think of fondly and you may wear out of nostalgia. Me. But most people, when they smell this, and this is one of those fragrances you will recognize anywhere, like you can smell it out in the wild and instantly know what it is. But Individuel is a much gentler kind of, you would wear it in a similar situation to Yo Pomme, except I also think that this fragrance is a lot more versatile. It sits closer to the skin, it doesn't have a huge amount of projection, but I will admit, I've been thinking about this fragrance non-stop for the last couple of days. It is a beautiful fragrance. Performance is 6-ish hours, and that's been a little generous with it. It is one of the weaker fragrances that I've covered recently, but in saying that though, when you compare it to something like that, this lasts 48 hours plus with a single spray. It's a nuclear scent. This is much subtler than that. It's much more soft and gentle, and I've actually gotten quite a few compliments from older people in my area. It's a beautiful fragrance. Performance issues aside, the fragrance is beautiful. Was it worth the roughly 4-year wait? I don't think so. I'm still glad I picked it up. I'm glad I bought 2 bottles of it, because I can see myself wearing this in summer a lot. This is gonna be safe for the warmer weather, the hotter weather. Let me just spray it on my hands quickly. Yeah, it does, in the opening, with that slight sharpness to the fragrance, it does have that slight resemblance to Yo Pomme. But again, it's much softer, it's much more gentle. If there are, actually, you know what, I will say that if there are elements to this fragrance that you like and elements you absolutely hate, and you want something that's actually similar to it, then this is a good fragrance to recommend. But I would actually recommend this more as an alternative to Prada Amber Pour Homme if you find this really difficult to locate in your area. much more closer. Both of these are very similar to one another. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comments, because the similarities between these two is crazy. And here I was thinking that I would just be getting a slightly weaker version of Yopom, so I was pleasantly surprised. Definitely some comparisons there that can be made, but it's the comparison to Prada Amberporum that I'm most happy with, because rumors are that this has been discontinued. It's getting harder and harder to find, and this would make a solid alternative to it. Just as versatile, if not a little more versatile, because you could wear this much more safely in the hot summer weather. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. And until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, and I'll catch you guys around.